Artemis Fowl is the new Disney film directed by Kenneth Branagh, who tells the story of a 12-year-old boy who finds himself in a battle to save his dad that got kidnapped by an evil fairy. And that's pretty much it. So, going into this film, I did not read any of the books, or I didn't even know that the books existed. So, I went into this film with an open mind to see what the whole Artemis Fowl story was about. So, straight up, this is not a good movie, like at all. Yeah, I couldn't find a single good thing about this film. I mean, I like the colors. I mean, they're pretty decent. The colors are pretty decent, but that's about it. This film is just a bit of an embarrassment. And trust me, I don't like saying that because I understand how difficult it can be to make a film. But I really struggle to find any redeeming quality about this film. Most likely, if you're an Artemis Fowl fan, you're probably gonna hate this film. It's a bit of a mess. Like, I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start with the characters. None of these guys have anything really interesting about them. I guess I'll start with the main character. So, Artemis Fowl is played by this actor named Farida Shaw, and this is his first ever film that he's played in, according to IMDb. Now, the way acting goes, I don't really like to criticize actors too much on their performance because I understand it's not an easy job. I myself have acted in the past in plays and stuff, and I consider it to be very difficult. So I try to avoid bashing someone's performance, but in this case, the acting is it's really terrible. And I don't like saying that because you have a kid who's playing his first ever role in a Disney film that is getting released on Disney Plus to, lots of people. And yeah, I really feel sorry for this kid because this performance was very bad. I mean, I'm sure if he does other films, he'll get better, but this definitely was not the movie to start with. The rest of the acting is also mediocre, but that really has to do with the script. Because throughout this whole movie, everyone's giving cheesy, cliche dialogue. Especially the villain, who doesn't even show his or her face. That villain, they were giving the most cliche villain dialogue that, I've heard in a long time. I'm actually surprised they even, wrote those dialogue down because it's just very cliche. Like, there wasn't a single time where the villain said something that wasn't cheesy or cliche. I mean, they were constantly saying things like, "You cannot stop me," or "I will destroy you," or just something like that. And it felt like something a 4-year-old would write. Another thing that was awful about this film was the CGI. Oh my goodness. This has got to be some of the worst CGI I've seen in, ages. Ever since probably the Fantastic Four reboot. I mean, there's this character in the film who's a centaur, and the CGI on the rest of his body, which is supposed to be obviously half horse, was so fake, and I couldn't help but notice it. Yeah. The monsters in the film and the fairies flying were also extremely fake. The wings on the fairies weren't even really, on the fairies. There's a final battle at the end that was just full of CGI flying everywhere. And this is surprising when I look at the film's budget and see that it's $125 million. I'm so baffled that this film was just full of amateur filmmaking. Judi Dench, she plays in this film. She's on a downhill with her career because she went from playing Cats to this. And I haven't watched Cats, but from what everyone says, or from what I hear, it's apparently a disaster piece. I also forgot to mention the editing for this film was also very amateur. I mean, it seemed to just cut every few seconds, and everything went wrong with this film. I'm gonna be honest, everything. It's hard to take it seriously because it just feels amateur in every way. And yeah, that's a good way to describe this film. It's just amateur. I'm gonna give Artemis Fowl a 0 out of 10. I don't recommend you watch it at all. Anyway, I got a list of other films that I'm going to review that came out this year, such as Scoob, Onward, Extraction, and a bunch of other films. So yeah, I hope you look forward to that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.